All right, what's up, people? So, right off the bat, you guys gotta let me know if my mic sounds like complete shit. You guys can't hear me or what? Because I was giving this stupid voice meter a try, and I don't know if I want to even use the speakers on it. So, let me know. Yeah. Yep. All right, give me. All right. How about now? Everything should sound good now, or at least normal. Well, I just want to make sure. Okay. Um, yeah, and I'll work on the I'll work on making it sound a little bit better. A little bit. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Trying something new on my scenes, so if they look shitty, let me know too. But yeah, I may switch it over again. Okay, so let's say what's up to everyone. What's up, Grizz? What's up, Marty? What's up, C4? GPS in the house. What's up, Sean Smith? What's up, RT? What's up, Sean Hawkins? Hey, do me a favor, Sean. Try not being such a fucking asshole. Like, I don't think Travis is a coward, and trust me, me and Jose both went on the whole "we're not banning or timing out anyone." It happens because people make dumbass comments like you did, and shit happens. So why don't you try to relax and get a blowjob or something? I don't know. Anyway, what's up, Aaron? What's up, Skyfly? What's up, Jose? Let's see who else is here. What's up, they and them? And I think, what's up, they lie, Ohio? Solo, what's up? And rounding it up, what's up, no name? What's up, casual spaceman? And I think that is it. What's up, Al K? What's up, Barney? What's up, in Stone? Wait, what's up, Bob? Bob Science Guy, how you doing, sir? Okay, and if I missed your name, I do apologize, but I cannot continue just reading random names. So let's get into this. Yesterday on Jose's, at the end of Jose's stream, we were talking, and we were talking about intelligence, or actually BB brought it up. You know, intelligence and what defines intelligence, really. And it was to me, it's an insanely good topic. I've always pondered this question because to me, the bigger question isn't so much do we acquire real intelligence, or is it just, perceived intelligence? It's kind of how I would look at it and think of it, right? Let me know, and I'll get you guys on here. I'm trying to do the meetup right now so I can get you guys in here. Like I said, I was trying to do something new with OBS, so I kind of didn't give myself enough time. But yeah, it should be no big deal. Worst case scenario, I'll just switch over to my other one, to the other profiles on here. No big deal at all. So give me 1/2 second. I'll get this meetup up. And again, I hope you guys like the intro. It was definitely nothing, like I'm not keeping it, but it was, last night I was just BSing, having fun, and decided to just make that one. It was fun. It's going to be part of the actual one, but for the most part, for the time being, I was just to play around one, trying to see a couple effects that I wanted to use. Give me a sec, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get all this set up so we can get going. All right, so the meetup is ready. Okay, I'm gonna put the link out there and we'll get into the discussion. That's what I was saying. All right, so so we're back into it. So, like I was saying, one of the things that I was definitely pulled into the conversation would be the idea of what is intelligence. I think we've obviously made a construct for what intelligence is. Your IQ tests. How you do certain things in the real world. But kind of went over a couple of things and saw a few things that were very interesting when it comes down to it. So I wanted to go over that and talk about that. Let me get the Hangout on there. What's up there, them?
You.
I'm doing pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. What's up, Bob the Science Guy? How you doing, sir?
How you doing today, Sean?
Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
Just got back from Phoenix and just driving in the sleet.
What's up, Barney? I'm not sure if you wanted to come in on that account or not. So that's what the delay was. Let's see. What's up, Casual Spaceman? How you doing, sir?
Hey, how are you? Hi,
pretty
Bob.
Good.
Hi there.
Pretty good.
Whoever else is in here.
Barney's just pulled in. Barney, I'm not sure if you wanted to use that account yesterday. You kind of backed out and came back in, so I wasn't sure. Yeah. Okay. So one, like I was saying just a second ago, you got a little background noise, Casual. The conversation of intelligence is actually one of my favorite, conversations about or topics that we can go talk about and come across. Damn. One of the things that I've always felt in intelligence, and you guys can let me know after this, is I don't feel that intelligence, if you're putting it on a scale of high intelligence, low intelligence, I don't think we really mark high on that scale. I think intelligence isn't so much what you know, it's how you live or how you survive, better yet. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's like we were talking last night. It was almost kind of like intelligence was like a measurement. I don't believe it's a measurement because you got things like IQ is a measurement of intelligence, but I don't think intelligence is a measurement of what you know. I mean, my personal feeling is that if something doesn't have a brain or a nervous system, therefore the biology is not there to enable intelligence to begin with. So like discussions last night that were talking about have plants got intelligence. So for me, it's kind of like if you have a brain or a nervous system with both and a consciousness, then that's intelligence. For me, that's my opinion.
All right. Anybody else want to weigh in?
What do you mean by survival?
Living, not dying.
Yes, but is that simple things like putting rudimentary shelter over your head, food gathering, or with the amenities and comforts that we have today included?
Well, does your iPhone keep you alive?
No, that's what I just want to check then. From a point of view of intelligence, yeah, we're not that. I would agree that we're not that high up the scale.
Okay.
In the scale of what? You mean the scale? How do you mean the scale? Scale of what?
Yeah, what is your scale? What is your scale, Ryan? Because like I said, for me, it's like if you're saying what is, I'd say it starts right at technology. The second, you can't say tool. I would say technology.
From a point of view of if we found ourselves without all the technologies and everything else, what percentage of the population would survive in the event of some large natural disaster where we lost a lot of our home comforts? I think a lot of people would struggle in that sort of environment.
But isn't that due to knowledge rather than intelligence or lack thereof?
Well, intelligence. I would consider intelligence being not that knowledge is part of being of the intelligence talk. I guess you say. Let me find it real quick. I was actually just looking at it.
You gain knowledge though, don't you, through because of intelligence. If you didn't have intelligence, that you wouldn't be able to gain knowledge. That's something you learn. Knowledge is something you actually learn through intelligence. If that makes sense.
I feel like knowledge is the ability to reconcile and gain information, whereas your intelligence is the ability to apply that given knowledge in any given scenario or situation.
I was getting ready to.
Well,
technology.
we got to remember.
I was getting ready to pipe in and,
go ahead,
say the exact same thing Sean did. Or I was getting ready to pipe in and say pretty much the same thing that Solo did. Knowledge is the ability, or excuse me, intelligence is the ability to put your knowledge and experience to work.
Yeah. The definition for intelligence: the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills.
I think the application is kind of key there.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, because you can know something.
Could you have a being? In which case, then, could you have a being? I mean, like for instance, I said earlier on that I believe that, and if you have a consciousness, then you have intelligence. So, would you agree, perhaps, or would anybody agree that it's possible for a being to have a consciousness, but hasn't got a knowledge to apply, and to hasn't got knowledge, and then be able to then apply that knowledge? Would that be intelligence or not?
I would make the distinction that knowledge is acquiring information, or basically acquiring and storing and ultimately understanding information, where intelligence is interacting with information, interconnecting it, and as the others have said, making it do some work, whether it be intellectual or physical is kind of irrelevant. Applying it to new situations, solving problems, as I've said yesterday, solving problems that you haven't encountered yet.
Why would it need to be encountered yet?
Well, that is kind of the definitional part of the IQ test, where all the IQ tests that are being criticized because you can learn the test. You can literally sit down and gain knowledge which will solve the test for you, where you don't need to be intelligent, right? Where you just need to possess the knowledge of what is the method of solving the test. Where what they are trying to measure is how do you cope with new configurations of information and solving new problems, applying your previous experience, your intuition, your knowledge, your skills to problems that you are not already familiar with, because skill is a different thing than mere intelligence.
Where does
well, on that same note, Barney, you could say that basically cheating on that intelligence test would be a form of intelligence itself, because you are taking that knowledge and applying it. It just may not be exactly how the test was described.
I know, but so there is a distinction between systems which actually problem solve. So in AI research, there is some overfitting. Overfitting is solving the problem by knowledge. But with overfitting, you have a problem that you cannot solve new problems. You literally go through example by example how to solve a problem, and then you remember those. If you encounter any problem to which you already know the solution, you can solve it. But if you come up to a new problem, which requires intuition, which requires some step which was not included previously, you cannot solve it. On the other hand, systems that are not overfitted can come up with completely new and innovative, correct solutions, correct meaning successful, that achieve the given goal, to problems that they have never seen based on a set of examples that they have already gone through, right? And that's kind of taken as the distinguishing mark between AI and an algorithm. Being able,
I think it's sorry, carry on.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, from a computer science standpoint, I think it's kind of unfair to compare human intelligence to an artificial intelligence. In my point of view, off the premise that an artificial intelligence can never really be, unless it's self-aware, can never really be completely independent. Whereas a child progressing to teenage years, progressing to adulthood, we all go through algorithms every day, no matter how big or how little, because the definition of an algorithm is it's just a chronological list of instructions that terminates and must be followed. So we all go through algorithms, and at some point on our journey, we all change something to solve a problem that we hadn't encountered before. Whereas if you were to give the same scenario to an artificial intelligence, more often than not, again, unless it's self-aware, like you said, it just will not be able to solve it. So I think the two distinctions between artificial and human intelligence isn't a fair comparison.
Well, then,
no, I agree.
If you're saying that's not a fair comparison, then is human intelligence not a fair comparison to natural intelligence? Nature, animals, and whatnot.
I don't know. If there's a biologist here, there might be a better person to speak on it. I'm not very. I can only really speak from a philosophical and from a computer standpoint.
Absolutely.
I don't understand animal life.
The key word in what you're discussing is artificial. So the question then is, well, can intelligence be artificial?
Well,
I believe
doesn't
so. My position.
what about, does intelligence have to be? What would be the word I'm looking for? Basically, what we think of it as.
Organic.
Yes, there you go.
My view on intelligence and consciousness is kind of Turing's universal computation, right? We are just computers, just very, very complex computers. We are not necessarily binary. We are not necessarily based on logic gates, but we are just processing information and coming up with new solutions to that.
I'm not sure I can entirely agree with that, because when you're talking about human intelligence, because the machines can't really replicate emotions and feel emotions, whereas humans can. So, I mean, could you say that that's a very complex computer to actually experience an emotion, whether it be anger, sadness, and all the rest of it?
Yeah.
How then?
How then what?
I don't think they
can.
I would
just say more of the same.
How could a complex computer experience its own emotion?
Can't.
Why would you say that it can't?
No, I'm just asking you the question.
It would only be able to.
I'm trying to determine what you actually mean, because what you're actually saying is that really the human mind really is just a very, very complex computer.
Yeah.
But from our experience, from everybody's experience that we know of, an artificial intelligence cannot experience an emotion.
How do you know that? Have you unless you yourself are an artificial intelligence and can testify that you're not feeling any emotions.
But do you know? Okay, in which case, do you know of an artificial intelligence that can experience emotion?
Well, instead of saying emotion, wouldn't you just say self-aware? Isn't it the self-aware thing?
I also know of no human other than me that can experience emotions. All I know is that they say that they experience emotions and they act in a certain way.
Can I interject here a little bit?
Go on.
So by definition, technically he's right in saying that our brains are a computer, because a computer is anything that has the ability to process and digest data. Now, if you're looking at the ideal of emotion, that's a specific type of data that, from your argument, which I agree, can't really be processed and simulated by a computer, because to our knowledge, they don't understand happiness, sadness, etc., etc. But that's just a subset of data. If we're to look at quantum computers and let's say classical computers, for example, classical computers work off base 2 binary, which is a 1 and a 0. That's a type of data structure, sorry. Whereas within quantum computing, they work off a superposition of that 1 and 0. They're two very different types of data to be processed.
But that's but saying it's data is too black and white, because don't forget, obviously people experience motion in different ways. People react to sadness in different ways. People react to somebody dying in very different ways. We all experience emotions in very, very different ways. Every single person in the planet experiences them in different ways.
Yes, but there's also people.
It's too varied for it to be black and white like that as a data. I just can't picture that at all.
Why?
Casual,
it would just be a system state, right? When you reset your computer and start it up in safe mode, that would be the emotional state of the computer. That is what all the parts of the system that are turned on and turned off, and what it can do right now, and what it's biased towards.
Yeah, but don't forget also the brain and the human body is also a complex organs that produces chemicals as well. It's not just electrical impulses.
Yes,
I'm sure Bob can correct me.
There are also people though who struggle to process emotions. There are people who struggle to understand. Yeah, so therefore, doesn't that go against the argument you've just made?
No, not really. I don't think so. No, I don't think it does. Because everybody.
Can we define what happiness is?
Well, yeah, exactly, Bob. That's my point. Can a computer define what happiness is? I don't think it can, and I don't think any.
Can we?
Can. Well, no, exactly. That's my point. That's part of my point anyway. I think
happiness.
The state of being happy.
No, I think happiness is actually a combination of many, many, many factors that all come together. It's kind of like if we smell beef stew, we're smelling carrots and beef and broth and so on and so forth, but it all comes together to something that we recognize as beef stew. And perhaps that, happiness is a combination of things like security, and our plans are coming together, and
well, it's all very subjective.
Okay,
there's a number of things
hang on.
that would make us happy, that in combination.
I didn't want to cut you. Sorry, my bad. Hang on. So, in going into what you guys are saying, you guys you brought in the happiness, and then I looked it up, happy, and then define happy. Again, it's feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. Can a computer do that though?
I'm personally not for the opinion that we can define an emotion. It's very subjective for everybody, despite what the Oxford Dictionary tries to say. I personally find joy out of experimentation.
What definition of happy would be different, or how would someone define happy as differently than this?
Okay, so this may be taking it to the absurd degree, so forgive me. But if we take, for example, a psychopath, a serial killer, again, this is the absurd degree. They will most indefinitely find some type of happiness or joy from murdering or from doing crimes against the law. Well, you know what I mean, doing something immoral. Whereas for somebody like me, and maybe for somebody like you, we would find joy out of debating, out of going outside, cooking. So the thing that can trigger happiness is different for everybody.
But it is still the same definition of it, though.
The definition of being pleasure or contentment, not necessarily. Some people find being having pleasure, they feel like they're being dishonest to themselves, and that's going through an entirely different mental health argument. But I think my standpoint is still valid, and I think some may agree that happiness and overall emotion is very subjective to the person or the machine you're talking about. It's not necessarily something you can define.
Well, what would be make you happy or make you, or would be considered happiness is different, but the definition of it or what it does still stays the same.
Well, I think everybody would probably have their own set of priorities on things that would make them happy, but it's the quality or the feeling that it gives you when those priorities are met, that is what actually happiness is.
Or any
change.
emotion for that matter, or for any emotion for that matter, not just happiness. I think that applies to any kind of emotion.
But how,
if I take Sean's point a little bit, I get what you're trying to say. The definition is mostly the same regardless of the scenario. But if we take the word pleasure, for example, as somebody who has suffered through mental health, I can tell you that once I've done a task and I've got nothing else on my plate and I'm happy with that task being done and I've got no objectives to do, I feel pleasured. But that pleasure really hurt me and that made me unhappy because I didn't feel like I had anything to do. So that I'm sorry if I'm phrasing my argument badly, but I still stand by you can't really define any emotion.
No, because exactly what you said is very subjective, and I totally agree with that completely. Subjective.
I don't see how it's subjective though.
Subjectivity.
How does happy change? The definition of happy change based on what makes you happy. That doesn't change the definition. It just changes how your emotion about it. It just changes the definition of which emotion you're feeling.
Well, I think Bob and Solo were hitting on the head. I mean, if you were talking from a computer standpoint, if it has enough power, if it's clean, if it is performing the tasks that it wants to perform, and those are all the things that it wanted to do, then sure, I don't see why it couldn't feel happy because it's doing exactly what it wants, has the security of knowing that it has a constant power supply, and is also clean.
But it doesn't know. I mean, it doesn't know it has a constant. It doesn't know that it won't be unplugged.
But
Yeah.
How do you know that it doesn't
also
know?
be a point of consciousness as well.
Because
A machine is only a machine like any computer will only do what it's told to do. Essentially, you build it, you tell it what to do, and it's just black and white.
That is already not true.
Yeah,
That is no
Barney,
longer hypothetically not true. That is already not true.
How is that not true? Because hang on, because that's not true, Barney. Because we've had that conversation before, and I think we were talking about the difference between general AI and what was the other one?
The specific AI.
Yeah. Sorry. And you were saying that the difference is the fact that it does have its code. Everything it does and has a code, so it's not doing it for itself. It's not it's not learning something new. It's just doing what it's told. So how is that? How does that differ?
No, that's not what I said. Sorry. Both general and specific AI have the potential to be innovative, have the potential to be to use intuition, and that is what distinguishes kind of AI from algorithmic code. Where in algorithmic code, you input the steps you want it to go through, you put in the logical gates, you put in the conditionals that set it down a path, and that path is always linear and singular, right? Where things like AlphaZero and AlphaGo literally use intuition. We don't know what the code in there is, and that code is not merely binary. It is self-correcting. It is not readable to humans. It makes assumptions and jumps to... Now, all of that has nothing to do whether it's specific or general.
Yeah, but
AlphaGo is still made for a specific task, which is playing the game Go or playing the game chess. AlphaZero can play practically any game with rules. But
intuition can be created in that way, and in very sort of machine code, black and white. But you can't create an emotion. Intuition really, in a way, is a way of actually sort of learning and sort of finding a way around to solve a problem. But that's not emotion.
That is intelligence. Now, whether or not that is emotion, I I can see your point, but that point is not. It is not certain. It is not. It needs to be assumed to be taken. Now, you assume that point. That's fine. But in philosophy, there is a problem called P-zombie, or philosophical zombie, which basically points out the fact that only you know that you have feelings and which feelings you have, and everybody else assumes that you have feelings. But if you look at the world, there is no way to distinguish a human with real actual feelings, with real actual consciousness, and a human which merely simulates them, who is hollow on the inside, who has no experience of them existing, has no feelings, but merely manifests them by an algorithm.
So let me
respond correctly to the right inputs. Right?
Okay, so let me ask you a question just to clarify. I'm understanding what you're saying. Are you saying that we don't know for certain whether another person has feelings? Is that pretty much what you're saying? Can experience emotion? Okay, but in the flip side of the coin, we don't know if any I don't even like the word artificial intelligence to begin with, but we don't know of any artificial intelligence that at least humans have created that can experience or learn emotion. Would you agree with that?
Yes, but in the same sense that we don't know that any other human being can experience emotions.
Why?
Excuse me. Sorry.
I don't really get what you're saying.
Spaceman, at this moment in time, are you basing your argument off the fact that computers can't experience or simulate emotion? If I'm understanding you.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Sean, could you do me the
favor of bringing up the definition of happy again for me? Because I've got a point to make on there. So, do you remember what I said earlier about a computer is anything that has the ability to digest and process data?
Yeah.
When a task is done successfully, let's say, for example, you sent a message to me or you sent a message to anybody, and that task has been performed successfully with no errors. Now, from my opinion and my point of view, that would mean that task has been satisfied and that requirement, that objective has been satisfied. The computer hasn't had to experience an error in order to send that message through. So by definition, from a philosophical standpoint, would you agree or disagree with the fact that the computer could be, quote unquote, happy with the process and the absence of error?
No, I disagree.
Okay, how so?
Because what you're actually looking at the screen, we're just looking at a definition of happy. Okay, it's just a black and white definition of happy. Okay, that somebody's put words on a screen. Okay, but I was saying earlier on is that every single emotion, whether it be happiness or sadness or whatever, everybody experiences that in a very different way. Or at least we don't know for sure whether we can actually, everybody feels the same thing. It's the same, do you understand what I mean? Everybody's emotion is going to be experienced in very different ways.
Okay, yeah. So, for example, mine and your perception of happiness could be different. I agree, but if one thing triggers my happiness and one thing triggers your happiness, sure, they might be different constructs, but at its basis, me and you would both still be experiencing happiness.
Yeah, happiness is what we can actually determine as happiness. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I think what you need to do is actually drill down into sort of more the sort of like into the conscious level of what happiness is, rather than a black and white term. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that for me? That's why for me, intelligence, real intelligence, for me, in my personal opinion, this is only my opinion, is that I don't think real intelligence is the ability to experience emotion. Just my opinion. People have got different ideas of what intelligence is, and like I said, I personally don't like the word artificial intelligence. I just call it a machine that has intuition and can learn from its mistakes, but that's not emotion.
Well, not every artificial intelligence, I know you don't like the term, but not every AI has the ability to have intuition.
I'm not upset by you people using it. It's fine. It's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, no. I think Barney would agree with me. I'm guessing he's a computer scientist, just from what he says. Not every single form of AI has intuition. That's not necessarily what it means.
No, of course it doesn't. No, of course it doesn't. But you can program intuition.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
Wait. You
I'm not
can't.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to explain the process of it because I don't know.
You literally cannot program intuition. If it is programmed, it is not intuition. But what you can evolutionarily develop it.
How do you do that?
Okay, well, if you look at the word, intuition, right? That means the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. So for me, a machine doesn't need conscious reasoning. It just is. It just reasons. It doesn't need a conscious reasoning.
I would disagree. I mean, not many, all classical computers would work off logic gates. So a combination of a 1 or a 0 to form a not, an XOR or an OR logic scenario. So in order for it to undergo a task, some of those requirements have to be met. They have to be reasoned. Barney, would you be able to clarify that a bit for me?
Yeah, so reasoning is the process of evaluating all the components of an argument, of a proposition, and then finding whether they are true or not and how they're interconnected. Intuition, in that sense, in the AI sense, is literally not doing that and still coming up with an answer, and coming up with the correct answer probabilistically. Right?
Oh right, yeah, I'm beginning to see what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, I'll give the intuition. Okay, maybe it can't, but again, still for me, really, I think emotion really plays a very high part in what I think intelligence is. So, I think
when you take games like Go, that was a problem with chess, but with chess it's a lot smaller problem, and it can be overcome by brute force, right? Big Blue beat Kasparov not by intelligence, not by intuition, but by reasoning, by predicting all of the possible moves that it could make, and then evaluating whether those moves were good or bad, right? AlphaGo cannot possibly do that. There is not enough computing power in the universe to calculate all the moves of Go.
But
The process would be...
Barney, one question, one thought.
Why would you ask me a question in the middle of my sentence?
Continue.
Go ahead.
No, you can finish.
I don't know what I was saying. Go ahead.
Barney, you did stop, to be fair, for even half a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you'd stop there as well.
Okay, go ahead, Mind of God.
Well, first, I'm just wondering, like in general, is this like a non-flat Earth kind of topic? You guys just want to talk about intelligence? Like, what is?
Exactly. Mind of God, it's exactly what it is. We're not doing a flat Earth.
That's cool. That's cool. But can intuition be linked to probability? If like we were talking earlier, you guys were talking about intuition maybe not being, replicated in a machine, but isn't probability the notion of like a probability tree? That is the machine representation of intuition.
So probability is just a value. Whether something is binary, 0 and 1, or it is a continuous scale between 0 and 1, and it can be any value in between, tells you whether it's probabilistic or not. However, that doesn't distinguish between deduction and intuition, right? Mm-hmm. You can still have deductive systems which are probabilistic. You can still... Deduction is truth preserving. You can have a probability and another probability and combine them using mere reason without guessing anything and coming up with a solution. So that's not what intuition is. Intuition is literally skipping a few steps or not following through with all of the reasoning, but still coming up with the correct answer. taking a large set of data, and instead of calculating all of the deductively necessary steps to say this one is the best, saying, well, this set looks like it couldn't be the best, so I'm just not going to calculate that, and this set looks, maybe I'll think about that later, but this set looks promising, I'll calculate just that set, and deciding what those sets are, and based on nothing, based on just the availability of data.
But let's say you're like shopping on Amazon or something, and then their algorithm presents something for you that you wouldn't have thought of yourself. Is that more intuitive than us? Like, I do think that systems can be made intuitive with enough, I guess, I don't know if intelligence is the right word, but they have the, I don't think they'll ever replace humans because we're making them, but
something being intuitive and something using intuition are not the same thing. Being intuitive is kind of being supple to intuition, being easy to think about, being easy to come to conclusions about, right? Mm-hmm. Something that your brain will kind of not go through the you won't need to be cerebral about it. You won't need to think hard about it. It'll just seem right or wrong, and you'll go with it. That's being intuitive, where you look at an interface and you immediately intuitively understand which button will move you forward. That interface is intuitive, but it doesn't have intuition. You have an intuition about that interface.
Okay. But what's your measure for intelligence, Barney? Like because everybody has their own different one. Like what do you think? How would you measure a person's intelligence or a system's intelligence?
The ability to solve new problems that you have not encountered yet, and the speed with which you can solve them.
And the speed would be a factor.
With which you can solve them.
Okay, so yeah, I agree with that, because you have to consider the speed, because you could have two people who write code, both do the same thing. One could be more elegant, using fewer lines, take longer. Another person could write, the code set faster, but it's not as elegant, but it still gives the right result. It's hard to distinguish which one of those would be the more intelligent person. But so I think it's speed and the new territory. Newfound knowledge.
Yeah.
Whoever's the best at both of those combined. Like flat earthers.
Okay, so now that we have little pauses, I wanted to ask this question and throw a wrench in everything. Isn't that all pointless when we talk surviving?
Yeah, Sean, what's your title? What do you mean by that, if you don't mind clarifying?
Okay,
Intelligence
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion, I believe that, for instance, animals themselves are animal in the broad spectrum of it, not just one single, have more intelligence, more survival instinct than we do. If shit hit the fan and we had nothing but ourselves, what's going to help? What keeps someone alive? What keeps a species alive?
Yeah, but like I was saying, I think that's to do with knowledge. Because a person, even a city person that's been living in the city all their lives, could be taught how to survive out in the wild if the shit hits the fan. You can teach somebody that.
Yeah,
that's knowledge.
But okay, so for instance, for myself, over the past 15, 20 years, I've studied and practiced survival living and backpacking. So in the sense of who's intelligent, for instance, this is actually really good. Barney's does computers. He designs programs and all that stuff. I know nothing about that stuff. So if we're talking intelligence on computer programming, Barney's obviously far more intelligent. Now, Barney, I have no idea what your survivalist background skills are, so I'm just using it as an example. But if you put me and Barney in the middle of the woods with nothing, I feel that I would be more intelligent than Barney.
Yeah, I would not call that intelligence.
Yeah,
Why?
no, I don't think that's intelligence either. No.
Why? I'm asking why, as in why, because I don't get it.
There is intelligence involved in that, but you could be much more computer intelligent than I am at the point where we are now.
Yeah, because you could learn about computers. And go out in the wild, and he could learn how to survive. You have that. Each human has that ability to learn.
Oh yeah,
so I
of
don't
course.
think. So I don't think intelligence. I just think that's just the ability to gain knowledge.
Yeah, but there
is an interaction between intelligence and knowledge and skill and experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely much more experienced than you in this thing, but given a new problem that neither of us have encountered, I might draw on my knowledge on my previous knowledge and experience to solve that problem. But if it was a problem that neither of us have encountered and I cannot draw on my experience, you might be the faster one to solve it just by reasoning about it and using your intuition to solve it, coming up with a solution.
Let me ask that question better then. Put you, Barney, in a situation into this, and then we'll say a dolphin. So it's a situation where we know a dolphin isn't going to learn how to computer program. So we know you're obviously far more intelligent than a dolphin when it comes to computers and programming. Okay, but now you can learn to survive, but will you ever... See, that's the thing. I want to say ever be as intelligent as a dolphin, but why can't it in nature or a dolphin be intelligent? Why is it all thrown out? Okay, so then why is the question not worded right that I'm trying to express?
No, I think it is.
Okay. That's what
So
I'm
Sean,
not sure if it was.
Something. I mean, basically, I agree with Barney and the guys. Basically, they're saying if both of you started out at the same baseline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like either you both had zero knowledge.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry, Chris.
Okay, so either you both had zero knowledge, or you both had 5 out of 10 knowledge, or 7 out of 10 knowledge, or whatever knowledge you want to have. You both start out with that same knowledge. Then you can make the argument. Then you can maybe find out who's more intelligent, because you have the same amount of knowledge, right? Whoever survives longest, or whoever can set up camp fastest, or however you want to do your criteria. But you can't say, well, I've been studying survival tips my whole life, and Barney hasn't, therefore I'm smarter than him if it comes down to that stuff. Like,
why?
Oh, you can say smarter. So a lot of these terms are very loosely defined, and people have different intuitions.
Yeah, it just means you're more knowledgeable.
But that does not necessarily mean that he's more intelligent or
right. He's more knowledgeable. He's studied.
How about that? Okay, here's my question then. Okay, so you're saying intelligence isn't a good word, isn't a good term for the situation. Knowledgeable isn't.
No, knowledgeable is.
Okay, just checking because I wasn't sure.
Sean, think of intelligence as more like an extrapolation. It's like you have foundational elements, and then it's people who can use those and then extend it out. At a faster speed and further.
So then everything I'm saying is correct. I can say intelligent.
No,
I can
I
say
agree with you.
between two. Okay, just checking because I'm looking at I've looked in to happy or smart, intelligence, knowledgeable, and they're all I actually use all the time. They're all synonyms of each other. That you can actually use them in different situations. But every time I've brought up the quote of which is Barney, you did it, and Chris did it, but it's not realistic. Yeah, you're right. We both can start at a base point and then go from there to see who would be more intelligent in that topic or situation. But what I said about me being more intelligent in the woods or backpacking or smarter or knowledgeable, whatever term you want to use for it, then Barney, because I had 15 years of it, that's what it is. When do we ever start at ground zero with each other or anything?
So point of an intelligence test.
Yeah, rarely.
But see, an intelligence test is just another one of these. See, that's kind of where I'm at with it. An intelligence test, it means jack all shit, because you may score high on that intelligence test and have a high IQ, but that doesn't mean you know how to survive.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct.
Right, but you're only using survival because apparently, and I don't have your history, you know about that. If you're like, well, having a high IQ doesn't show how much music knowledge you have. Well, I also
You're 100% right. But the reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because the two are so far from each other that you can't say, well, this is why. Wow. So you're
because let's say it took you 10 years. Because, for example, let's say it took you 10 years to learn every piece of knowledge you have about survival, and let's say it took Barney 1 year to learn the same amount of information, right, and have it down.
I don't think it's possible.
Or to jump to correct conclusions without ever learning them or like ever studying them. Like if you take two students and give them a bunch of tasks, and one learns by making a whole lot of mistakes, and you need to correct him, and eventually he does learn to mechanically do something, while the other simply takes every task and solves it correctly every time by just looking at it and employing his brain to reason quickly to himself about what would be the correct solution. Right? The second one would be more intelligent than the first one, even though they ultimately gained the same knowledge. And right?
So basically, so some people are able to extrapolate what's next in their head, rather than some people need to make those mistakes to redo it correctly, or some people do it faster, some do it slower. I mean, there are different variations of it, but at the same time, it's not. But the conversation isn't what you can learn; it's what we know. So
I have a good example I'd like to use.
We're not taught to survive in the wilderness. We're taught to use technology, taught to use tools. You know, I mean, I don't like saying tools because both worlds you would use tools.
Yes, but also we are intelligent beings, and we are to some extent being taught to be resourceful, to
animals?
look at our surroundings and use the things in our surroundings towards specific goals. So even though people are not being taught survival skills, I think that a lot of people living today would be very good at surviving in the wilderness, even though they've been brought up with computers and grocery stores. Yes.
Yeah,
you sure? Because we see this all the time. You take I mean, people talk about it all the time. You know, we all, especially in this group, we all grew up camping with our families and stuff and loving it and all that stuff. You talk to most kids now, they don't want to go. They want to play video games. They want to be online. People want to watch TV. People want to drive their cars. People want to, I mean, it's so, and that actually poses a question that I just realized. Is our technology show that we are that much more intelligent when it comes to surviving than animals are?
Yes.
Right, Sean. Is this more about being able to use the environment we find ourselves in to survive, as opposed to using the technology we have?
Yes, 100%, exactly, spot on. I mean, it's everything you guys were talking about prior. It all matters, and it all has everything to do with this what I'm saying now. Because I mean, Barney just answered it perfectly, and I hadn't thought about it before just now either. Where we are with the technology, what I am trying to separate between, you know, surviving and technology, it shows that we are, in a survival sense, intelligent, right?
So Sean, let me ask you
that technology is specifically what sets us apart on the intelligence scale, right? Where most of the other animals are kind of limited to reacting to their environment and their circumstance. We have the ability to
adapt
communally, socially, using technology, create our environment, modify our environment, create our circumstance, like bend the nature to our will to create the circumstance of surviving in environments and circumstances which couldn't possibly be survivable for any being that does not possess that level of intelligence, right? We can go into outer space. We can go into the deepest reaches of the Mariana Trench and survive, and we can do that willfully.
Okay, how about this then? And I think I've streamlined my question then. If we'll say the panelists right now, I guess I kind of just want to do a yes or no right now. If, say, this very second, we were all put in the wilderness with no technology, by ourselves, do you believe that you have the skills to stay alive? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
No.
Definitely.
Yes.
Not for very long.
Only until my body eats my fat cells and then protein.
Yeah.
Until you lay down and cry.
So
Absolutely.
It depends on the wilderness. It depends like if you put me in a desert, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But the general wilderness of where I live in, in the woods, in the neighborhood, countryside,
And that's why I also wanted to make it very clear, Barney, that I wasn't saying you had no skills, because I don't know.
Right. So I'll ask, this is possibly the next level then. Do you think that with the comforts we have today of being able to go to the shops and everything else, if we did find ourselves in the wilderness, that most people would have a good enough level of knowledge to actually know what you can eat, what you can't eat, where to get safe sources of water if we did find ourselves isolated in our environment?
That's going to be a huge population control right there.
Yes, but I think that most people would know that they need to boil their water, for example. It depends on your education system.
Wait. I don't think very many people know that. Or it's not education system, because I haven't retained everything I learned in school. I guarantee a lot of people haven't. You need to boil your water because of bacteria. It really isn't a
How many people could start a fire to boil their water?
Yeah, that's another part.
Not
no
me.
There's no gravity in wilderness, Barney.
No gravity everywhere, so that makes sense.
So I have a question on the same topic. So in high school, I played chess a few times. I was into chess. Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't anywhere near very good at all. Like, I was above average, right? Like, if you do anything for a while, you'll be above average than the average person. So anyways,
not true.
I played a kid. Sorry?
That's not true. There are people that do things for. Honestly, I know a few people that train jiu-jitsu, Chris, and have been doing it for 20 years and still haven't left blue belt. It's not bad training. It's just, or not bad school. It's literally the person just can't grasp different.
But they'll be better than the person who's never done it before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
let them finish.
That's all I'm saying. So anyways, so my point is, I was better than average, but I was by no means good. I was probably like a 1250 or 1300. If you know what that means, fine. If not, it doesn't matter. But basically, I played a chess a few games with the guy I went to high school with, who was by far had a superior IQ than I did. I mean, I just know that for a fact. Like, I went to a private school, so there was a lot of really smart kids there, kids who went to Ivy League schools and major public universities, but really big, major hard public universities. But the point is, I beat him every time. So what would you contribute that to? Because he was smarter than I was, if you look at it from that perspective.
I would say either
it's better to be lucky than to be good.
Muscle memory, or
yeah, but it wasn't luck, Sean. It was skill.
No, it's not. It doesn't mean it's luck. Matter of fact, actually, I'm happy you asked that question, because it would be. Or go ahead. I'll find out which one it is.
Some people are musicians. Some people are strategists.
He was probably a baller. I had to. Sorry.
Come on, let's not stop. Listen to this. Come on, this so far.
So going to the chess thing. The reason why I say it's better to be lucky than to be good. You may have learned like 4 or 5 different starters to chess, but he could have learned 30, 40, and he was thinking about something completely different every time you're playing him. Or you could approach the subject completely different than how he perceives it. It's not a matter of intelligence at that point. It's just how he is solving the problem.
So Chris, so what I was trying to think of is and I didn't even realize this until today. The different types of intelligence, as they break them apart to, for different situations.
Like
in
emotional,
the situation, yeah, exactly.
verbal,
So
right.
what you're describing, you're describing the reason why you would consider yourself more intelligent in that situation is you have more of a fluid intelligence. It says a general ability to think, abstractly reason, identify patterns, solve problems, and discern relationships. I don't know if that one is actually the best one.
Right.
There's fundamentally there seems to be 9. Huh?
Oh gosh. That's
or way more than 9 actually.
I was just saying, I think it goes towards your fundamental point of you could be a better survivalist than someone who has a quote unquote higher IQ than you, even though they might have the same amount of knowledge. Like you can apply those skills better than they would because of the way their brain, they might have a brain that is, high IQ in math and high IQ in science and those kind of things. But when it comes to say like building stuff, right? I mean, if you want to survive, you have to know how to build things, potentially carve things like spears and things, those kind of things. So in that regard, I would agree with you. Tool building is exactly. So in that regard, I would agree with that. Just because you have a high IQ doesn't mean you can put all those things together, right?
But CB, check this out. Let's say the dude is like genuinely smart in all those other subject areas, but not chess. If he genuinely is like that, and he's not just a grinder who like does every single problem and remembers it. Let's say he's truly intelligent. Smart people look at all the variables. Let's say you give somebody 5 different things to solve a problem. They'll look at all the different possibilities with those 5 things. They won't just pick the 2 and then take the easy solution. So let's say over time, I'm not sure how many times you played this guy, but I suspect if he's really, really intelligent, he will then play chess enough, learn like the playing field, and then take more and more variables into account. Maybe he was just playing too fast. He was just like learning, all the different things that are needed to play chess well. But to me, that's what like real smart people do. They look at all the variables, even if it's putting a 0 next to that variable temporarily, but they exhaust all the different possibilities and then they proceed forward with the most elegant solution, and then they push, information knowledge further. But one would think that if he kept playing, he wouldn't get worse, right? Like he wouldn't like, I'm not saying you would get worse either, but you don't know how quickly that curve would rise after he improved.
Well, at one point I had an ELO about 1625, 1650, right in that zone. And occasionally I'd be playing somebody who was pretty new at the game. And I'd have my strategy all laid out. I'd have everything, ready to boogie. And then they'd do something that made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. They made the most illogical move that they could have made. And it would throw my entire game into a spiral. And it sometimes you receive an input that just resets all your counters and makes you go, wait, what? And it doesn't necessarily have to come from a place of superior knowledge or a superior skill. Sometimes it just comes from a place of doing something that's not expected.
Yes, but that's specifically what I think intelligence is, dealing with new situations that you haven't encountered yet, right? Where you can learn chess, where you can play chess enough that you recognize certain patterns of figurines on the board and know that from that position this will happen and this could lead there and this is the best course of action, literally through experience and knowledge. The intelligence measure would be, how do you deal with an idiot who has done something which literally doesn't fit into the game and has changed the course of the flow of the game completely?
Do you think it needs to be a situation of not have seen it before?
No. So that I would say that is the thing which distinguishes it from other forms of mental capabilities, such as knowledge, experience, reasoning, and stuff like that. I would say that is the thing which makes intelligence, other than being generally smart in the vaguest sense, right?
Yep, I see exactly what you're saying. While you were doing that, I was like, while you guys were talking, I was kind of just gathering some of the types of intelligence that there is. And it kind of just lays out a real thing of, does intelligence matter? Or, no. Does intelligence as a general term matter? Maybe that's a better way.
Yeah, I think it does.
I'm going to say yes with an asterisk.
Because I got 11 different types of intelligence that I'm looking at right now, and when I look at this list, it literally says a jock isn't dumber than someone that's in a math club, or the guy who plays video games isn't more intelligent than the guy who draws, or vice versa.
Yes, they are intelligent in different areas, or they are smart in different areas, depending on which of those it is.
Yeah, so I'll kind of go over a few of them.
It's simply different skill sets.
And then you get to the point of talents. What are talents? Well, talents are just very narrow, specific intelligence in one area.
Or I would just say skills that have been improved on or advanced on over time, right?
I totally agree with Barney. Well, that was well said, Barney. Actually, I totally agree with that.
Oh, my bad. Mind of God. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. He says, I gotta go back to it. Damn it.
You don't have to read it, man.
I don't really remember what it said.
It's a religious thing. It's cool, man. No, YouTube gives us credits once in a while, so I just wanted to say hello and all that, but appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
But dude, if your angle is you want us to appreciate survival as a form of intelligence, I think everybody would agree with that. It
doesn't need to be appreciated.
Okay, but
I mean, for instance, if you live in the jungle, you don't appreciate your skills. They're your skills. It's how you survive. I think
living is your own appreciation.
Yes, there you go.
But dude, there's a lot of kids growing up in bad neighborhoods. They learn, where there's things to avoid and stuff. That I'm not saying it makes you perfect to live in the wilderness.
Okay, that's actually a good example. That's called street smarts.
Right, that intuition.
So
you can apply that to the jungle if you were literally in the jungle.
Can I ask the question in a different way then? Do we think that people have the common sense to use their knowledge in a way to survive?
Common sense is really more variable than intelligence. What is common to you and what is common to me, even if we were raised in the same environment, could be so drastically opposed that we couldn't find common ground.
Precisely.
Yes, that's what I mean. But use their common sense.
Common sense is very subjective. Common sense is merely what is intuitive to you, what makes automatic sense to you.
Yeah,
what seems obvious to you.
Yeah, it's the basic ability to perceive and understand and judge things which share by common to nearly all people and can be reasonable, expected, or nearly all people without any need of debate. But yeah, that's a very broad.
Based on my interactions with people do not share common sense.
Yeah, well, the thing is exactly. Your common sense in your life is going to be different from mine. Let's see. Go back to that list. So, like, a few of the types of intelligence would be fluid intelligence. Fluid intelligence. It says a general ability to think, abstractly reason, identify patterns. Crystallized intelligence. It's the opposite of fluid. Then there's the naturalist intelligence, which is kind of where I was speaking on before, which is being able to read and understand nature and all the living things in it and on it. Is also a type of intelligence having sensitivity for all living and non-living elements in the nature makes you a nature smart person. There's musical intelligence, which is the ability to play an instrument very well, or be able to hear tones and frequencies, or read music and
basically by what you're listening,
frequencies.
that source is equating intelligence with talent.
Yeah.
So on that one, right? Not the others, just on musical.
No.
Yeah, for just about everything. I mean, really, you could be an absolute moron and still have perfect pitch, you know, but that has nothing to do with your intelligence. It's just a talent you were born with.
Yeah.
So then,
my uncle's
So
a very good representation of that.
So
I see. Not the smartest man, has a slight issue with anger control after an injury, but damn, if he can't play about 7 different instruments, most of them self-taught.
So then, is it safe to say that intelligence is more of a self-analysis of something, of yourself? Or,
No.
How do I say it? Well,
it's
someone's intelligence
a loose term.
is determined by themselves, though. I can't distinguish whether or not you're intelligent by our conversations we've had.
Whether it is individual, yes, but whether it is dependent on self-assessment, no. Right? If you yourself think that you are intelligent about something, that does not guarantee that you are intelligent about that thing.
Yeah, not at all. Okay, yeah, I see. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for correcting that. Yeah, I see.
And a person that we would perceive as smart is not necessarily intelligent. They could instead be trained to a point to where their training makes up for any other lack of intelligence they may have.
There is a great lecture from the Royal Institution about research that was done about how children perceive intelligence. And the distinction between children that see intelligence as a fixed value that you are born with, literally that the sum total of talents that you are born with, and that's what you have for your life, and the other group is the children that perceive it. I have an echo from somebody. That perceive it as something that your experience and work and interaction with that thing affects your intelligence and makes you more intelligent in that field, like develops your talent. And they've followed them over the course of something like 20 years. And like the difference in success between the two groups is huge. If you see your intelligence as set in stone, as like the thing where people say, "Oh, I don't have the brains for mathematics," or right, I don't have that ability or that proclivity, or I can't do math. That's a rubbish statement. That's an attitude that has nothing to do with intelligence. Maths is hard for everybody.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, it also that also comes down to how much you can retain and how much you can apply.
Well, even a lot of that can be taught.
That itself is malleable.
Yeah. Point in case, there was a study done on cab drivers in London. The cab drivers who spent more time in the company and had greater experience, whenever they did neuron mapping, they had far greater density of neurons than new cab drivers.
And I've seen parts of that study where they've actually mapped for new incoming drivers. They did MRIs of their brain and did MRIs progressively, like let's say every month. I don't know the exact numbers, but where they could actually see new structures forming and growing in the brain as they developed their orientation skills and their basically the database of streets and addresses and paths to them and traffic data and all of that. And that's one of the seminal works in neuroplasticity.
Although we honestly shouldn't say it's increase in density so much as it's increase in density in electrical signals, because your brain doesn't develop new pathways very often.
No,
It can hardwire greater electrical currents through certain pathways as they're necessary, though.
Look it up. It was that research was actually the direct proof that presupposition is false, because they found new neural tissue, like not only new neural connections, not only new electric activity, but new brain cells, new parts of the brain.
Really, I must have missed that part of it. I'll have to go back and read it again. It's been a long time since I've read that study.
So yeah, that is what has developed into the field of neural plasticity, because it was long supposed that cells cannot be replaced, that the brain can kind of work around the areas which are damaged by setting up new neural pathways or even extending new axons. But this study has shown that no, there is actually neural cell growth and regrowth, and that later led into research into possibly regrowing connections in severed cerebral spines and all that.
Huh. I'll have to go back and read it. I wonder if it was myelinated or the unmyelinated axons that grew, or if it was combinations.
I don't know. I don't know that much.
That just means I have something else to look back up again. Damn it, Barney! Why do you give me things like that to do?
Because it's fun. Because we need to move on from things which have been taken for granted in the past, and are like the reason why I talk so much about general relativity is because everybody assumes Newton instinctively and intuitively, and we've known for 100 years that it's different, and nobody knows how it's different. Like the
just
things that
reminded
we
me
have learned in the meantime need to be communicated.
Barney, have you watched the debate between King Crocoduck and Kent Hovind?
Possibly. I watch a whole bunch of those things. I don't remember specifically that one.
See, there was one part in, I think, the second debate where Hovind asked King Crocoduck, it's like, do you even understand this stuff? And I said, no, does anyone even understand this? And Crocoduck said, intuitively, nobody can understand it.
But
When
that's
referring to
specifically
relativity.
the distinction between, yeah, but you can learn to intuitively understand it. You can attack it from you can come back to it over and over again from different angles until you figure out how it works. And
I know. I just thought it was funny and lined up with exactly what you said. Intuitively, it's not something that gets grasped.
yes, our brains are made to be efficient. They're made to optimize things, and that's why we are so good at abstraction, right? At making things, at reducing things to their simplest form. Like, it's much easier to think about a circle. It's just a set of points which are equidistant from a single point than it is to think about all the irregular shapes that approach a circle. Everything's a circle for us, right? Everything that's even vaguely round is a circle.
You mean we can't make a circle 3.2
Because
so
that
that
takes
you can make a squared circle with it?
Why? Because that takes so much less computing power, and it still has enough predictive power, and it's an optimization tool. But that also means that we are sometimes wrong.
Oh, yeah. I'm willing to bet Jill's time as a taxi driver is where he gets his brains from.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Barney. Or, yeah, actually, any of you guys can answer it.
Okay. Throw it down.
If intelligence is obviously a very broad term for any different aspects of the world and what we do, who's better equipped for survival, animals or us?
My opinion, animals.
Us.
As a species, human.
Animals.
I would have to go with animals.
Particular environment, all things being equal, I'd have to go with animals.
Yes, but you are picking a different animal for each environment, if I'm understanding you correctly, whereas humans can survive in any environments, including some environments in which no animals can survive.
Coyotes. What about roaches? Are roaches animals? Seriously,
Yes.
I don't. Okay,
Yes.
I honestly had no damn clue. But
It's
coyotes.
not a plant, it's not a bacteria.
Coyotes.
It's
they
not a
live
mushroom.
everywhere.
It's not a, yeah. What?
Coyotes live everywhere. I guarantee you have coyotes where you live.
What I was talking about was
We don't have coyotes where I live. There are no
Yeah.
coyotes in Europe.
Wait, weren't they all like hunted?
Coyotes are an American
No.
issue.
Are they? Are you? I don't think so.
Yes. Yes, they
Yes.
are.
Well, definitely.
Coyotes are to America what kangaroos are to Australia.
You mean dingoes?
Dingoes. Yeah, fair enough. I just meant a native species. Right.
Yeah. It wants so
Yes,
badly
but,
to be woke, it just sucks at it.
People have been to environments that are so extreme that if you put any other animal beyond a tardigrade, it wouldn't survive in that environment.
what would people eat?
What would people eat? The food.
If there's no other animals in that environment.
So coyotes live in the western.
I ain't gonna be living on tardigrades.
Say. They don't live in
We
only
people,
North America.
from that respect, we are now capable of producing food from non-organic, not non-organic, but
What?
non-living.
You know what? You go into an environment and you take, say, a coyote, you drop it in that environment, and then you drop a human in that environment in the same condition in which you drop that coyote, naked with nothing. My bet's going to be on the coyote surviving.
You know what? I'm going to cheat on the question. We are animals, therefore animals win.
Cheat.
Fair enough.
Hey, unpaid chills. One thing to say, I dare you, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, give me time. Give me time.
If anybody runs into Nathan Thompson, ask him if he has finished his research, because he owes me $20.
His research into what? The reptilian brain?
Oh wait,
Yeah.
That was fun.
I say,
Okay, wait, hang on,
I wonder
hang
if he
on.
actually thinks that it really is a reptilian brain.
Yeah, he does. Barney, okay. You guys have wolves?
Yes.
Okay. So I shouldn't have said coyotes. I should have more have said the what are they called? The canes or
Canines?
yeah,
Canines.
that's the one. Yeah.
We don't have either.
What do you have?
As large
Or
predatory
better-
animals,
Yeah, yeah.
nothing anymore.
Where are you?
No.
UK.
Yeah, UK.
They basically all starved to death because the cats destroyed all the vermin.
Did the UK really just eradicate all their predatory species?
Yes, there's talk about reintroducing some of the canine species, but the likelihood of that is very slim because of the impact it would have on the overall environment and ecosystems.
Yeah,
You still have
nearest we have
foxes.
in the UK. I think the nearest we have in the UK would be a fox, really. But I mean, is that
Yeah,
predatory?
fox.
It's a
Yeah.
predator, though,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, it is.
Absolutely.
It's a predatory canine.
predatory.
Okay, you
It's
guys
not-
have.
yes, but
What was that? Sorry,
Sorry.
Dan? Sorry, what did you say?
Davros, I didn't see your comment. I need to go up and look at it.
I think.
The thing is, I mean, eons from now, we life forms will live like never before, as we're aligned by the world. I mean, the multiverse is approaching a tipping point, and soon there will be a summoning of the health of the likes of which the world's never seen.
What have you been smoking?
And where do I get it?
this is an ongoing one. You will see more of Unpaired Chill's natural side coming out.
Oh God!
When you say that, I just assume suddenly we're going to see a naked Shills on camera, and that really disturbs my thought process.
We've already seen him pop this.
Click, and the truth will manifest.
No. No, please. I don't know what I need to say. Just no.
So Sean G needs super chats so that he can keep unpaid shills off screen.
No, just one button. Just one button. That's all it takes. Done.
It was my. You have to blame me. I did dare him. So it's me. My fault.
Oh, you're the one to blame. Perfect.
Yeah,
now I
Casual
know.
Spaceman's the one to blame for everything.
Hey,
yeah.
Humankind has nothing to lose. Our conversations with other adventurers have led to an unfolding of a suprapranic consciousness, and we're in the midst of a perennial refining of interconnectedness that will remove the barriers to the multiverse itself.
I have no clue what the hell you just
What is
said.
that from? I recognize that.
The depth of his brain.
Guidance. Without guidance, one cannot dream. That's just a simple fact.
Well, I think we're all ultimately confused. I remember what I was going to say, though. I was going to say that the predator. I'm trying to change the subject now because we're talking about you on camera. And no, the predatory animals in UK. There's only four main ones, and that's the fox, otter, owl, and eagle.
Oh, you forgot the soccer hooligan.
Yes.
The who?
And from
And
the soccer hooligan.
Rats aren't. Rats are scavengers.
If you
I
take
know.
the species that we have from a point of view that manhunts, none of those animals are going to have any sort of impact on them.
Ooh, you guys have snakes. That's good. Okay,
Yeah, that'll be. They're only grass snakes. They're not. We don't have poisonous ones and stuff running around.
What? You talking about the death? You have a
We
death
could
adder.
send you some.
You have a death
They don't
adder.
have death adders in the UK, do they?
Yeah, it says adder bites are not as deadly as other snake species. The last adder-related death in the UK was 1975, but yeah, they're there. They're not. But see, the thing is, adders aren't big snakes. They're very small snakes. There's only one or two, maybe, species of them that grow pretty large, but even then, they're more fat than long.
Well, I mean, let's help them out and send them a shipping container full of cobras.
Why? They got cobras on. We don't have cobras here. How are we going to ship them cobras if we don't even have cobras?
Fun story about the Brits and Cobra. Back in India, cobras were such a big problem that the Brits were paying money for villagers and locals to bring them in. Dead. So the villagers started breeding them, and it caused an even bigger problem.
Yeah, but in the UK itself, we used to pay people for shooting foxes as well. And you to get paid for it, you brought the fox to the police station, and they were They were supposed to cut the tongue out, so that you couldn't be paid more than once. But if you kept the foxes 3 or 4 days until they were nice and smelly, the police wouldn't go near them. So then, literally, you just drive around to every police station, and you get paid again and again and again.
That's crazy. Well, boy, did you guys screw that one up.
Done.
Sign of intelligence.
Guys, made some pies for my nurses.
Those are pies, right?
Well, actually, they're cheesecakes, but got chocolate and strawberry going right now. Vanilla in the oven. Chocolate chip banana on the way.
Your kitchen is insanely white, Brian.
It's not my fault. It's the way it came.
I'm just saying. I was.
Have you missed one? No, you haven't seen me. I mean, I'm insanely white, but that doesn't mean.
Wait. No, I think I have. It was a long. Nope. No, I haven't. Thought I did a long time ago.
I mean, I'm on the internet. I just couldn't tell you where to find me.
Yeah, stay strong. Don't do it. Trust me, for someone who has over 100 memes out there, don't do it. There's no point.
But Sean, which one's your favorite?
Which one's my favorite meme? Let me show you.
Yes.
I'll show you. I gotta get to
Let's specify with your favorite meme of you, though. I don't want to see another sports news smoke. Rest is a garden, no.
No, it's me. Why? I mean, I have 1,000 freaking emo memes. All right, let me see if I can find it. Like every once in a while, I'll see a good one, and I'll be like, okay, I'll save that one. Because if they're good, then it's worth it. I don't know where to find it, so if I don't find it, I'm gonna stop looking. Or yeah, if I don't find one, just go to fucking Debate Fly Earth and More server. Links in the description. Trust me, if I go in there, you'll see a dozen right away. Yeah, I don't know. I'll gonna look through one more folder. If I don't see it, then you got all the shit out of luck. Last folder. And nope, not there. Oh well. Yeah, go to Debate Fly Earth and More. Links in the description below. And if I show up there, trust me, you'll end up seeing one or two.
Which one? So which one is it? Because I think I've probably seen most of them as well.
I don't know. I actually need to see it. I wouldn't even remember how to. I've seen so many, and I don't take offense to them, so I don't focus on them. So I don't really remember what the hell they look like. I just have to see it first.
Hey, Hamilar Barker there in the chat. Watch what you're saying, man. Anti-Semitism doesn't fly around here.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing he's not rinsed. I can't see the chat right now.
He's not.
Yeah. He'll learn soon. Yep, can't find it. Oh well. I think I'll find it. I think there's like a midget tossing one. I think I have that one. Let me see if I have that one. Oh yeah, here it is. Is this one?
It's where I'll go.
This one's old. This one's been around for so long. It's like it bores the shit out of me when I see it now. This one. I think that's a GIF. Pretty sure it's a GIF. I don't remember. I don't know why it's not working. But yeah, that's one. It's not even. This one isn't even a good one. This is just one of the ones I saved. This is old. Yeah.
Sean, are you short or something? I don't understand.
Oh, I'm 5'9", but you know, fucking everyone else apparently thinks I'm 4 or something. I don't know. Definitely not short though. That's the.
What you mean?
joke,
The people
though.
on the just a video of you practice.
No, they didn't. I heard what you said. I caught it. No, that's the funny thing about trolls. They don't ever really show good stuff. Like, for a long time, when I was being trolled, they'd use like a few of the jiu-jitsu tournaments I had put on my YouTubes. They showed the ones like I'd lose at, but like they would never show the ones I won, because like I won 30 in a row. Why didn't they show those? Stuff like that.
I go to the doctor and they ask me my height. I tell them I'm 4'26" just to confuse them.
Dick move. Especially because it would just confuse the shit out of me.
Oh no, the patient care techs appreciate shit like that. Their job is boring as hell if they don't have something go strange.
All are weird. I don't know how you guys do all that. All right. Yeah, man, we kind of just went way off track, didn't we? What are you guys even talking about now? I was doing something else earlier.
Not a clue.
Now would be a good time if mind to God and Chris want to try to change the subject. They were trying so hard earlier.
I was sitting back and I was filling up a butane torch.
The infinite is full of vibrations, man.
It didn't explode or anything, right, Sean?
No, it's just a tiny little torch.
That's good.
The flat Earth people have left.
Oh well. What else did I want to discuss?
Lost.
The gift and curse of OBS. I'm trying to do like 8 things at once for no reason. I think that's it. I'm done. No more multitasking. I'm back.
Well, good for you.
So Jose's going to go live in 2 hours, everyone. 3 tops, he said.
Oh, sweet.
Wonder if you would consider that I guess that would be a evening show for him, huh? That'd be mid-afternoon for me.
Yeah, it'll be late evening. 8, 9 o'clock.
So where did we get to in the intelligence conversation? Because you guys, I'm not gonna lie, you guys completely threw me through a wrench when I hadn't taken into account that there are so many different types of intelligence, and to think.
Well, I just wanted to make.
I've always come from the standpoint that animals are more intelligent than we are because they're able to survive, whereas in so many aren't, or many people aren't able to if they were stuck in the same situation. But
I've never seen a chipmunk do analytic geometry.
Yeah, the application of animal intelligence.
I've never seen analytic, whatever you said. I've never seen that keep someone alive either.
Well, mathematicians' paychecks are low,
I would disagree with that. Well, I would disagree with that because
Why?
Say if you're setting up a snare, in order to set that snare up correctly, you have to have the geometry correct.
But couldn't you learn that just through basic trial and error?
Well, we've got to learn how to lead sentient lives in the face of stagnation, because eons from now, we starseeds will believe like never before as we're awakened
Wait a
by
minute,
the quantum
time out.
matrix.
I just realized what's happening here. Unpaid Phil, are you a Trekkie? Are you one of those Trekkie
No,
nerds?
it's just time to take transformation to the next level.
You're a Matrix nerd. Which one? I know it's one of them.
It's not Matrix.
No.
Reality has always been electrified with life forms whose auras are immersed in grace.
I am finding
just
out.
slow to recognize
It's
it.
fucking Scientology, isn't it?
A crossroads of life force and suffering. Somebody's got to say it.
Oh, God.
Our conversations with other beings, animals, whatever, have led to an awakening of the ultra unlimited consciousness.
You know what I've decided, in a sense of also ignoring unpaid Phil? I think I'm going to start using the UK. What is that? The UTC time? It seems so much smarter.
Yeah, it's a lot more convenient.
And thank you. I think it was Phil Yeah. No. Yeah, it was Phil who was making it clear for everyone who didn't understand or know time zones what time in their time zone in America Jose will be on.
Sign of things to come.
So right now UTC time is 11:08 p.m. That don't even seem right.
You can get an online time zone converter. So what you can do is you can put each time zone in, just put in one of them in it, and it'll convert all of them for you in one go. I use it all the time. It's handy.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'll put the link in there.
Sean, you've never worried about starting a hang up in time in your life. So why are you worried about time zones now?
Oh, just so I don't want to have to figure it out for when I go to do something.
The last time he started one up, he started it up on time.
No, it was early by 35 seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
I still don't know who you are and what you did with Sean.
Who? All I see is I want a widget that I can put on here, and I can't find one.
My streams always start on time. I just fuck them up. That's all.
Put it this way, if I had I couldn't even do that because I could easily start anytime and just let it play music and shit until like I was ready. But I don't think you guys want to sit there and listen to a bunch of fucking music. It'd be the worst.
Better than wondering what you're doing, no? True.
Oh, I'm preparing for a stream every time because I don't ever give myself enough time.
Well, it wouldn't really matter that much anyway because we all exist as chaos-driven reactions.
Jesus fucking Christ. Are you hi, hello, I'm new?
Me?
Okay, I guess not.
Okay.
You had to have been here.
I'll explain later, Sean.
So confused.
Well, I mean, we're here to discuss like sciencey type stuff, right?
Yes.
We're here to discuss intelligence, which is not necessarily science.
In this particular case, it's kind of philosophy, really.
Yeah.
But philosophy is the deeper meaning of well-being and us. And the goal of philosophy is superpositions of possibilities and to plant the seeds of healing rather than delusion.
Yeah, but we don't.
That's what it's all about.
I really wish I knew what you were quoting.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of context, man. Context. All in context.
Dude, I don't use context.
Playtext.
I could vouch for that.
Maxi, which one? You guys just completely failed it, though.
It's almost like someone took crystal healing, smashed it into Isaac Asimov, and then it came out of your mouth. It's just so strange.
You're just jealous, man. Because, no, seriously, only a prophet of the dream time can generate this revolution of understanding.
Is he drunk? I don't know what's happening right now.
Oh,
I'm so confused.
Are you reading from the Deepak Chopra generator?
It's a new age science bullshit generator he's reading from. So what it does, it generates just a whole load of word salad from these new age Christian, I don't know, whatever you call it. It's just word salad.
It can be difficult to know where to begin. The universe is calling you via ultra-sentient particles. Can you hear it? If you have never experienced this unifying at the speed of light, it can be difficult to reflect. Today, science tells us that the essence of nature is curiosity. We self-actualize, and we're reborn. This life is nothing short of an unveiling osmosis of dynamic curiosity. And the complexity of the present
Barney,
time
it's the same thing.
Seems to demand a blossoming of our bodies if we're going to survive.
I'll bet you if you got up in front of a crowd, you could sell that shit to them and they would donate money to you.
It literally sounds like you're trying to explain how periods work.
Yeah, but I mean, how should we navigate this consciousness galaxy? Life form, look inside yourself and ground yourself. Have you found your path?
Twice.
Shut up and take my money.
Please.
Yeah, where do I send my check?
What the hell did I do so wrong?
If this is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Twice.
Right.
This cockpit sucks.
I think Sean's at the corner. I think you sent him into a spin.
Oh, this is a good one. Here's a good one. The totality is bursting with meridians. Consciousness consists of morphogenetic fields of quantum energy, and quantum means an evolving of the angelic.
I'm sold.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, you are becoming a woman, Shill. Every month it will happen. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it's a natural process. I believe all women go through it. It's normal.
Yeah, just keep humoring him. It's probably the best thing to do.
Are you saying I'm going through menopause?
Yes.
Yeah, menopause. Yeah.
Twice.
Bastard.
Jeez.
Well, it'd be difficult to know where to begin.
No. I didn't want a beginning. Definitely not a beginning.
Unpaid Chills is a message for you in chat. It's from Peter Harrington. He says, "The casual spaceman, tell Unpaid I love him." You've got a follower already.
Woohoo!
Poor guys.
The one you read was straight out of Scientology, and as soon as you read it, I was like, "Oh man, Scientology for real?"
Yeah, it's part and parcel of the same thing on Scientology and this New Age Christian Science thing, whatever they call it. I don't know what you call it.
I think they're really called a Christian Scientist.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
How does that work?
It doesn't.
Well,
it's neither Christian nor scientific.
But isn't
the thing is, this life is nothing short of an invocation of metamorphosis of sublime coherence. You and I are dream weavers of the dream line.
Jesus Christ.
Yes,
you are becoming a woman. You're becoming a woman, and yes, you may go to prom with him.
Jesus doesn't come into it.
Hey, self-actualization requires exploration. That's all I'm going to say.
That's the closest to lucidity I've gotten out of everything you've said so far.
Seek what is ridiculous, not inspirational quotes are simply strangers denying.
I'm still confused.
It's your fault if your politician is used. What? keep trying and prepared for failure. Oh, that's all right.
And it's okay to be confused because we are in the midst of a primordial blossoming of intuition. That'll be a gateway to the quantum cycle itself. Reality has always been overflowing with spiritual brothers and sisters whose bodies are baptized in hope. I mean, throughout history, humans have been interacting with the planet via biofeedback.
I don't care what he said to you. Show me on this doll.
Unpaid, where do I sign up for membership?
Well,
I'll follow you anywhere.
There aren't any membership forms, partner. You just gotta give away all your shit and come to my rape tarp. Or I mean my
Jesus Christ,
my chapel, my chapel, and pay homage to the universe.
Oh, so I've got to give you everything, have I? Oh, fuck.
So to speak.
You're not having my computer, so you can fuck off with that.
Because I mean, in the end, we must strengthen ourselves and beckon others. We've got to learn how to lead pranic lives in the face of selfishness, and it is condescending that we are aligned.
Hamilcar Barker in the chat. He sounds like Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe he is.
Asterix, stop it! You're starting a religion.
We are at a
Don't even know
crossroads
it.
of wonder and materialism.
I'm gonna mute
Policeman like it runs.
you. And I don't even want to. I just feel it's necessary.
And I do have a serious question. After I've read some of this.
I don't believe you at all.
No. Just listen to my question.
I don't
Do you
want
guys
to.
feel as dirty hearing this as I do reading it?
Absolutely.
Okay,
And then
just
some.
checking. It kind of leaves a film in my brain, and it just ugh.
I can feel it eating away both your intelligence and your survivability.
Yeah.
Click add to Chrome to continue.
But
But
maybe
imagine-
taking your will to live away.
But imagine a maturing of what could be.
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, on that note, I am off. No, genuinely, I am. Thanks for the conversation tonight, Sean. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. It was a good one.
Yep, have a good one.
All right. All the best, gents. Bye.
Have a good
See
See, you got people's brain
What,
all
no parting
scrambled. They're
words
gonna
from
fall off. It's gonna fall now. Watch. All your fault.
No parting words for casual spaceman from the deep beyond.
Well, I mean, if y'all insist, yes.
Damn it, Sean. I will remember that.
Sorry,
Sean,
this
It's
is
not your
hilarious.
fault.
The
That's
goal
my
of
fault.
supercharged waveforms is to plant the seeds of fulfillment rather than desire.
Who are you trying to make fall in love with you? I'm confused.
Nathan Thompson and Travis.
Jodie Foster.
Oh, good luck with
You
that
know,
one.
with that line of talk, I could absolutely believe you're trying to make Nathan Thompson fall in love with you, and it's probably worked by now.
On
I mean,
there.
template for
a lot
Make
of-
fun of him.
T-shirt.
What was that? I didn't catch it.
I didn't
Keep
hear that at
begging
all.
and deny everything. Yeah.
You found a
No, I
Thompson meme.
I didn't hear what was said. It was like two people talking at once, and I couldn't hear.
While you're spouting your quotes, I'm presenting the Inspirabot, which is AI-generated memes or inspiring quotes, which are accompanied by an image and random generated text.
That is awesome.
Be incels.
Inseparability is a constant. We exist as bioelectricity. Yes, it is possible to erase the things that could exterminate us, but not without grace on our side.
All right, I'm going to take that inspiration to read.
Holy shit!
One of the questions you answered yesterday. I think I've found your answer and I've sent it to you in Discord in the DM. And I will say, good evening, folks, and I might see you on Jose's later.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for being in.
All righty,
Here's an inspiring quote. Why don't you quit getting out of bed?
It will help us all.
And of course, it's a picture of a typical house in the middle of Iowa.
Of course it is. Yeah, sure.
To which I would say, galactic traveler, look within and strengthen yourself.
Okay.
I'm going to be thinking about these things at bar trivia tonight, and I'm not going to be able to answer questions. Thank you, Schultz.
My work here is done. Away!
Vision.
How dare you?
Why don't you just call like 911 and like say it was like a big accident, and then all the surgeons will have to go.
Because I like my job.
Well, I don't get it. Don't you want to win?
That's not something I can call without losing it.
Oh, well, you don't have to do it. You can have someone else.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people who could stand to lose a job that I can think of.
Now it just sounds eerie. Like what the? It's just game trivia, dude. You don't have to get people fired. I just want like a whole team to leave. Just trying to help you out.
I appreciate it. I got a little too serious with that one. My bad.
Damn doctors have
You
issues.
can always eat.
No.
You can always eat like hot peppers and egg salad sandwiches and just clear the bar out that way.
It is at a Hooters. It's possible.
Well, on that note, gentlemen,
pickup line.
On that note, gentlemen, I got to go spend some time with my son, so I'll talk with you in a little while.
All right, have a good one, Sean.
Take you to Hooters. You parked with me tonight.
All right, later.
See ya.
Later, potato.
All right, who is left? Not very many people left. I'm gonna see if I can wait you guys out.
You probably can. I gotta go in a few minutes.
You got a what?
I gotta go in a few minutes, so you'll definitely outlast me.
Oh, I'll outlast all of you.
Cat on it there, stick boy.
The hell? Where's that movie from? Or are you just being... I'm so confused. I don't know if you're just saying stuff or you're reading quotes still. It's going to be like that for a while.
Talking to you.
Because you're poor doesn't mean that you're not naked.
I was talking to you.
Who is you?
Stick boy.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, gee.
Wait, who? Marty Moose. That's any idea how Unirock 2 got almost 3,000 views? Who's Unirock?
Honestly, I don't know. I hear about him quite a bit. People
it's a
bitch about
YouTuber?
him. Yeah, people bitch about him in every community. I don't know much about him.
See, that's the thing. When I was a flat earth, I didn't follow very many people. I stuck to a small group. It's like already crazy information I had to get through. I couldn't just watch everyone. It was impossible. I didn't know who anyone was.
I know Unirock and Skeptic are tight.
Oh, hey, Unirock is a live streamer. Oh, okay. It says, who is this? Unirock 2. I am a Unirocker, a live streamer, and a video producer, YouTube partner. I think this is the same thing. Is this the same thing?
That looks like individuality.
Is Marty, is this the guy you're talking about? I don't think it is. This guy has nothing to do with Flat Earth. Maybe I just clicked on the first one I saw. I was like, is that it?
I know the guy did like a 6-hour stream about the video of JM and Shelley having a discussion about money in a casino.
Okay, wait, that is him. I think it is the same person.
It'd be better to talk about self-actualization.
All right, I'm going to hijack you for a second, Barney, and I'll let you screen share in a second.
No, it's okay.
Because I don't actually mind the memes. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, this is the guy they're talking about. You guys can see it, right? My screen.
Let me pull it up. Yep.
Yeah, this is the guy. I would say, yeah, that is odd. Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, by the way, I know it's not the topic of the day, but did you hear about Sleeping Warrior having a whiz in a cup?
Nope.
Apparently, he decided he had to go to the restroom, so he turned off his camera, and you can hear him peeing into a cup on stream. Or at least that's what people are saying currently.
I think he was probably fucking drinking coffee or something.
Yeah, he probably was just pouring something in, but it really did sound like it.
Okay, so this is weird. This guy, the one I'm looking at now. So clearly, it's just weird because he has low views, and then only when it's flat Earth is it a good view. So it's either being promoted when he does it, or I don't know. I mean, he had good views a month ago, then all of a sudden he just stopped. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Marty, no, I don't think it's weird at all. 14,000 subs. No. That's yeah, that I mean, if it was 3,000 at one time, that's a lot. But his 9K views after 14 hours, that's a lot because he doesn't have that many views on anything else, but it seems normal. Seems like maybe they just promoted it more. Yeah, that's it. He asked me in the chat if it was weird that he had 3,000 views. Okay. Hello, I'm new says he's a drama maker and a soap opera channel.
That wouldn't surprise me. That would explain why he's universally. Well, it seems like he's almost universally disliked by both sides.
Okay. And speaking of which, I was asked to go to Shills. I don't think I'm going to go there. Not that it's a bad stream, but it's just not my style. I mean, I've been listening every time they come on. I watch it now, but I don't think I fit in very well.
Come over to my place.
Wrong shills. These are paid shills.
No, I'm talking about the Shills stream. Yeah, man.
I didn't want a rumor to start about, like me inviting you over to my place, for a little bouncy or something like that.
I didn't tell anyone about that.
The craft is full of eels.
My bad. Yeah. So we're either gonna have to talk about something, or I'm gonna end this shit.
What do you want to see? What do you want to talk about? Have we beat intelligence to death yet? I missed the first half of the stream.
I believe so. I still think animals are smarter,
and I differ.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean by smarter? Is the application of their knowledge more niche than ours?
I would say more likely to survive. But see, then that's not true either. And then I'm thinking about it, because the lifespan of animals isn't very long.
Drop a polar bear in the desert and a human in the desert. Who is more likely to survive?
Because he'd kill us and eat us.
I'd probably say a polar bear.
In the desert? No.
Yep. Why?
No.
Why?
It's not acclimatized to that. And it doesn't have the ability to make it doesn't have the ability to make the tools necessary to make up
tools.
For it.
What tools? What tools does he use in his natural?
And he'd kill us, take our freaking wallet, use a credit card to get himself a trip back up to Alaska.
No, but seriously though, the only thing that would be a detriment to a polar bear would obviously be the heat. But I live in the desert. We got polar bears at our zoo, and yeah, they can cool off. I get it. But the most important thing about its survival would be finding food, and it's going to be able to find food faster than we would.
Is a polar bear going to be able to find food in great enough quantity to keep it going, though?
And another technicality is
they wander already, and they go long periods without hunting.
Yeah.
Another thing to consider is Antarctica is a desert.
Say it again.
Antarctica is a desert too.
Yeah, it is very true.
They don't live in Antarctica; they live in the Arctic.
That can be. There's desert areas, aren't there? Yeah, I would say so.
Antarctica is a desert.
Fair enough.
But there are no polar bears there. Isn't the Arctic? The Arctic?
There are. There's Arctic. There's bears in the Arctic.
Yeah, the penguins killed them all.
In the Antarctic? No, there are no polar bears down there.
Nope.
Oh no, okay.
The guarding penguins killed them all with their lasers and missiles and shit.
That's what we get for arming the frickin' penguins.
But how do you know it's not just because they didn't travel that they weren't able to get there? That's kind of one of the situations with Antarctica. I mean, most animals that are there either flew in, swam in. There's not very many four-legged creatures out there.
there are none. So much for intelligence now.
I think the intelligence has been drained from this conversation.
Yeah. Well, until I find out what animals are in Antarctica. Wait, I'm looking.
Penguins.
Yeah, everything that's there. Yeah,
seals.
The only thing that's there that didn't swim or fly in is a Antarctic land invertebrates. Other than that, everything else is swam or flew in.
Yeah, the place is kind of hard to get to otherwise. Yep. Yeah, it got separated a long, long time ago and wound up in an area that became way too cold for most mammalian life.
Yeah, the only one is seals.
The fringes.
Then why aren't there penguins in the north?
Because polar bears killed them all.
It's probably just an issue of penguins developed towards the southern portions of the continents, and they just couldn't make the trek up.
Yeah, because there are penguins. Sure. There are penguins in South America, so it's not a climate situation.
No, I mean it absolutely could be. There's lots of desert in between the north and the south. There may be dead areas of the ocean that they can't get through. The ocean water may be too warm as you go north. I don't know a lot about what people
I wouldn't say that because killer whales do it. Do the trek every year.
Yeah, but a whale versus a penguin is a very, very different animal, very different evolutionary track, very different adaptations.
Yeah, but they both will travel long distances. I mean, can't really say that because most animals that have a migratory pattern travel a very long distance to do so.
And I agree with that. It's just a matter of the evolutionary. It's just a matter of, are they evolutionary set to where they would go that direction, or is there something impeding them from going that direction? I don't know. That's a question more than a statement.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't looked anywhere near into that to even come close to an answer.
I think it's just safe to say, yes, there are ecological barriers and leave it at that.
You have to leave it at that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, the big one would be.
Well, there's just no simple answer to that. There's no simple answer to that question.
That's weird.
Yeah. Hello, I'm new in the chat. I only have one leg. A shark ate it, but I have 3 testicles.
Penguins ate those.
Brian, are you? I'm new.
I am not.
Okay, because you guys have the same joke sequence.
What?
Neither jokes were funny, yours or his.
Well, the thing is, I am new thinks he's funny. I know I'm not funny. That's why I know
new. Actually, hello, I'm new is funny. His jokes aren't funny. He's funny. I told you I wanted him on the stream for the whole time, just randomly saying stupid shit.
Yeah.
Not anymore though. The end.
Okay, guys, this is where I step off because I'm slowly falling asleep. Been fun hanging with you.
Thank you for being here, Barney. Definitely appreciate the conversation.
If I find a way to wake myself up, maybe I'll see you at Jose's in about 2 hours.
Sounds good.
Barney, Rick's Pelican Abogado Pilgo.
What did you just? I don't think he liked. He didn't say anything about wanting. He didn't want avocados. No one said anything about avocados. Fuck.
That was Chickasaw, wasn't it?
Huh?
Oh, that was just made up bullshit.
Same shit, right?
Klingon? I'm so confused right now.
No, it definitely wasn't Klingon.
Solo in the chat. Are you talking about mine or are you talking about Jose's? Yeah, we're pretty much winding down.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to outlast shows, unfortunately. I got to get running. Catch up later.
Yeah, hey, Grizz. Yeah, I did smoke, but not very much. I wanted to stay with the conversation this time. Man, I'm telling you, last stream wasn't that bad. The 2 streams before that, though, I purposely got blasted. It was great.
Yeah, well, in the immortal words of Dostoevsky, Yevsky Mish, bien.
I think that starts in about an hour. Yep.
Checking.
Yep, just checking. All right, get the hell out of here. I was going to do final words, but there's no one left. And if I say let's do final words, I can only imagine. No, you know what? Chills, would you like 2 minutes just to rant?
Nah, not today. I'll let your suffering audience have some sweet relief.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Let me get out of here. All right, thank you, sir. All right, guys. Well, that's how the stream's gonna end. Basically, today was a fun one. The conversation that we were having when it comes down to the real topic of it, intelligence, smart, survival. I think one of the big aspects of what we didn't talk about that should have been, but I mean, it's kind of was self-explanatory, is what's, I want to say better, because it's not better, because if you want to really think about it, does an animal live better because he doesn't have to deal with crap, stress, bills? Probably. But then again, they gotta hunt to survive. We go to the fridge and snack. Someone, you can call a friend, get online. Being in nature is pretty solitude. I've done backpacking for a long time, like I was saying. I want to say it's probably the best time. Clear, my mind's clear. You can focus on the task at hand rather than the bullshit in life. But it's not easy. So to think that, in my brain, to think that humans can just be dropped in the middle of nowhere and survive, to me seems far-fetched. It's got to be, because if I didn't know what I know, it would be insanely difficult to say I would be able to survive. It'd be insanely difficult to say I wouldn't. The idea that we as humans are able to adapt very well doesn't mean we'll be able to survive very well. The last example that was brought up was a polar bear. But a polar bear and a human in a desert will survive. Well, your initial thought is that a polar bear lives in freezing temperatures and it's going to be too hot. But like was brought up, deserts don't mean hot. But we'll pretend and say if it did. Well, again, I mean, we got polar bears in zoos and shit, so the heat doesn't just instantly kill them. The polar bears first, I mean, think about it. You drop a person in the desert with no water, no food. The first thing that a person's going to want to do is find it. But we're not finding anything in that situation. You're scavenging at that point. That's not it can be a skill. It's not a very good survival skill for humans. We need a lot of water. Food, not so much, but definitely water. Whereas a polar bear, I mean, they're actually designed to survive off the fat in their body for long periods of time. So they're not going to need water or food right away, in theory. But like I was saying, they can smell food for miles. When a polar bear goes in a direction, it doesn't go in a direction to scavenge. It goes in a direction for food, for sustaining life. So I still stand. I think animals are better equipped to survive. I think they're, in a sense, more intelligent. I definitely like the aspect that I didn't think of that was brought up, that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we are the most intelligent when it comes to surviving nature, because for one, we took ourselves out of nature. But then you got to think, is all the technology that we're getting making us softer? Or is it just more of an example of how more intelligent to survive in nature we are? I mean, we were still in nature. We just figured out how not to, or how to have shelter that doesn't blow away on the first wind, or wash away when it rains. Rather than having to go on a planned hunt, we can go to a grocery store. It doesn't really make us any different. We just are designed to, we're just designed and able to figure out more elaborate, efficient ways of surviving. So I guess in a sense I was wrong. I guess maybe we are the more intelligent when it comes to surviving. Maybe technology isn't what's making us soft. Maybe it's just a better example of how much we have evolved to survive. So maybe person A and B can't survive if you put them in the woods for more than a week. But we have in the past. And now where we are now. So maybe ways of surviving, we brought technology, made it easier. We've added stuff, jobs, bills, stress. But those, I guess, would be more still constructs of the simplicity of surviving compared to having none of those worries and being left in the woods with nothing. I guess shelter, food, water, predators would be your taxes, would be your getting your kids to school, would be the traffic, would be the car payments. So maybe I have been wrong about the whole situation. Maybe animals aren't very smart. Yeah, they'll survive where they are better than we would. The average person. But the average person in that situation would find ways to get out of that situation so it'd be better. Whereas an animal doesn't maybe have even the conscious ability to think, hey, this could be better for life. Maybe they just go on as they naturally have and consciously go. I don't know. I guess that's a question that you can't really be answered. It's very much so a philosophical one. It's one of those ones that are kind of like, well, there's this and there's that, but there's no solid answer for which is better, or not better, which is more entailed for survival. Yeah. So I guess I've gone back and forth now 3 times in this rant alone. I guess in the end, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which one is better. I don't know which one is more intelligent. And if there was a God in its intelligent design, why wouldn't he have made things more intelligent to continue to survive rather than die off or go extinct due to starvations and stuff like that? I don't know. Those are good questions. Tomorrow, may touch on some more of this based on the fact that I actually have more questions now than when I started. But for the most part, I definitely wanted to go into something me and Gleam were talking about in the beginning of the stream. A lot of the military advances that have been going on. The main reason I wanted to talk about that is because it affects us, I guess you would say. Our friends, families that are in the military, It definitely gets them out of harm's way, but at the same time, makes killing easier, right? I think so. I don't know. Talk about it tomorrow. All right, guys. Again, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate the shit out of it. Without you guys, what the hell's the point of me being here? My bad. Didn't mean to do that. But with that said, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Damn it. Solo. Thanks for jumping on. First time I think we had. Oh, we've talked before, but I think it was a long time ago, and definitely appreciate you come on. New voice in the conversation, and I liked where you were coming from. So please jump on the panel some more. And that goes to anyone who wants to jump on. 99% of the time, it's open panels, and I definitely like hearing the different views and having the discussion of things. And it definitely not needing to go anywhere besides just a conversation. No disrespect. Again, past few streams have been, I'm not going to say it, FE related. And I think it's better. I think our conversations stay realistic, and it removes that line both sides have drawn. So I'm going to stay at it. Hope you guys will stay at it with me. And other than that, guys, I'm going to stop ranting and get the hell out of here. Thank you for